Yo, what's up, guys? We're live. We're doing another recap and breakdown, quick early preview, and got two gurus on this show, man. So you get an extra treat. We got a guest. We got Chronic Combat co-host, Scouting Guru. So what's up, man? How you doing?
Thanks so much for having me, guys. I really, really appreciate it. If you guys don't know me, make sure you check out my show, Chronic Combat Conversations, on YouTube. We go live every week. Best guess, free picks always. Have a blast. So, seriously, again, Guru, thanks so much for having me on. Can't wait
Yeah,
to chop up last week's card and maybe give some early leans for this one.
yeah, man, for sure. And Fitz, man, you did pretty good on this card. So I just want to talk about kind of like what you thought about it just right before we get into it, and just what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, good weekend, turned 23, but the card I thought was a little underwhelming in my opinion. A lot of decisions, a lot of favorites. There were
Yeah.
some decent fights. The Joel Alvarez performance, that was spectacular in my opinion. Brutal finish. We'll get into it. Main event though was a dud, man. Umar, shut down Corey, and props to him for that. That's a tough task to do, but just not a barn burner fight. But we got another card to look forward to this weekend, and then coming up a big pay-per-view card, Izzy versus Driscus. So it's gonna be heating up pretty soon.
Yeah, man. So let's get in that first fight of the night. We had Cedricus Dumas. He got that unanimous decision win over Dennis Talulin. And I mean, he got the job done. He was the favorite, but I feel like I don't think Dumas regressed because I never saw him as like a high level prospect, but I feel like it was just like it was what it was. He squeaked by a guy that he should have beat, and I think he's probably not going to go too far in the division. And for Talulin, I probably think that's his last fight. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but man, I mean, how many losses in a row can you get in the UFC and keep his job? But yeah, Fitz, I mean, were you impressed with Dumas in this one? Or are you kind of like,
No,
what did
no,
you
it
think?
was. I mean, he got the job done. It was a good game plan, but it was a terrible fight. The funniest part was by far the post-fight interview when Dumas is on the mic. He's like, a lot of people call me a woman beater. That's not me anymore. That's in the past, man. So that had me cracking up.
It was it was it was three excuses in one. He's like, I didn't do it. It was bullshit. That's not me anymore. I'm a bigger. It's like, wait, which one is it?
But I mean, this might have been Dennis Tulin's best career performance. So who
Yeah.
knows? He won that third round. My big play of the night was Dumas and Guram in a two-teamer, and which was way more fucking stressful
Yeah,
than I
hard as
ever
heck
thought it
city,
would have been.
motherfucker.
Literally. But yeah, this was a shitty fight. Which I mean, I said it would be a terrible fight, but Dumas got the job done. Whatever.
Autism is the best face ever made. Yeah, dude. Cedricus is definitely on his way there. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
what did you think about it, Guru?
I had a super AIDS parlay with Cedricus Dumas and Shara Bullet. So that was like a 2.5 unit play that we had. So that was super fun. Dumas making it, too close. At the end of the night, I ended up cooking up something stupid. I put for $10. I put Shara by decision and Umar by decision for like plus 800. So that was
Oh
fun.
yeah, dude. But yeah, man, I mean, this fight, like, what do you think about Dumas's next fight? Like, would you give him another build-up fight like this, or are you kind of done with trying to build him as a prospect? You know what I mean?
No, I mean listen. It depends what you want. I mean, the dude's clearly like. I mean, he's just not an exciting fighter at all, which is
Yeah,
like kind of how he was billed coming in. And yeah, I mean, he doesn't have volume. He doesn't have power. He doesn't do much with his wrestling. It's just like it is poor. And to your guys' point, like, does Dennis Tulian like keep his job? It's like probably not. But it's almost the same thing like Mikhailo Lajaychuk. It's like these guys kind of do a job because they stand and bang, and you
yeah,
know that they're going to stand and bang. So tough.
yeah. It's kind of what I think. But I mean, this next fight, man. I mean, I'll go first on this one. I mean, talk about a guy that, he. This is like one of those curses in MMA or just in the UFC. I feel like it. You come in, you have a great performance in your first fight. Like he had that close fight with Chaos Williams, took the loss. And then, his last two fights, he just has not looked very good, man. I mean, he got dominated by Song. He was more competitive versus Herbert. He dropped down a weight. I mean, I would give him another fight and, see what he could do at 55. But Herbert was just sharper than him. I feel like some people thought the decision could have went the other way, but I don't think so, man. I feel like Herbert clearly won. At least the first and the third, I believe. I think the second was the kind of toss-up round, but Bedoya, I just didn't think let off his hands enough, and Herbert was just a more powerful guy. Herbert won the grappling exchanges too, so with Jai Herbert, he looked good in this one, but I feel like he's kind of peaked. You know, he's a little older, and I don't know what he's gonna. If they can give him fights like this, he can maybe get a couple more wins. But I feel like he's probably gonna end up losing pretty soon as well. But Bedoya, I mean, what do you think, Fitz? Do you think Bedoya is, can he turn it around at 55s?
Yeah, I was on Bedoya, and I think he was a really popular underdog from what I've seen. A lot of people were on him, and Herbert just lasered him with the right hand. Had a couple of good tosses, like a judo toss. Bedoya, for me, in a fight that's 1-1, his big advantage should have been that third round. He should have been really able to push the pace, and to see him not able to do that, to let off the gas. It was a tough fight, but still. That's just not the kind of fighter I thought. I thought he would be the type to really turn it up in a close third round, with his UFC career potentially on the line. I was wrong. Jai Herbert, I think, a lot of things will be said about him every fight that he's getting older, but he still looked really fast here, really sharp. So, he still might have a few more wins in him. I think I definitely wrote him off too soon, as did a lot of other people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I was definitely on the Bedoya side. Took the dog shot there. I expected Bedoya's calf kicks and pace to really bother Herbert, but turns out Herbert puts out a career best in output, and Bedoya, despite cutting another 15 pounds, still looks flabby, still doesn't have cardio, still doesn't. Like, it's just, I think at the end of the day, like, there's a couple things. He, like, overperformed versus Chaos Williams, and Chaos Williams also smells. Like, he just sells real estate. Like, how focused is he at the end of the day? Like, he's just not that great. So Bedoya never belonged to begin with. He was a short notice replacement. He was a decisionator in the regional scene. Like, he just doesn't belong. So poo-poo on me for taking a dog shot there, but, like, I don't know. I was kind of built into the narrative like Jai Herbert smells. If he was worth a darn, they would have let him fight in London the week before. Instead, they sent him halfway across the world. So, yeah, I don't know. I just good on Jai Herbert.
And what do you think about Jai, though? Do you think he's still like a fade for you, or are you kind of feeling different about him?
I mean, I think like any good capper would say at this point when you put him in that position, right? It depends on the matchup. But no, I mean, how can you? I still think he's low volume. I still think he smells. I still don't think his chin's very good. Like, there's nothing there for me that's super impressive. I just think that somebody like Bedoya, like, literally just didn't make him pay at all because he has no power, and then the pace just wasn't there. We kind of all expected him to have a better performance, and he didn't at all.
Yeah,
he looked the
I
same.
agree. And I mean, talk about someone that was expected to have a better performance, was a big underdog. And I'll let you go first on this one, Guru. I mean, Victoria Dudakova took the loss to Sam Hughes. So, I mean, what were your thoughts on this fight? Pretty bad fight to me, but
I took Sam Hughes. So, I mean, I think I was
that
in
was a
the
sharp play.
thank you. I appreciate that. I was in the minority there. It was just something that I had saw in the tape, just that, like, I mean, it was just kind of simple. Like, Sam Hughes, her 3 wins, she had a takedown in all 3 of the wins. Dudakova, last fight versus Jinyu Fry, looks gassed, is a turtle off her back, gets completely washed in round 2. I just kind of felt that, especially with, like, long travel for an 8-0 prospect who, like, there's nothing. I didn't see anything good from her from any of the tape that we've seen. I was just like, I just think Sam Hughes can out-veteran her, and I think she'll pull away down the stretch because Sam Hughes will get up when she's put on her back. And again, from everything I've seen, there was nothing that showed me that Dudakova had great top control or could do it for 15 minutes. So just to me, and shout out my co-host TV Scouting MMA, like, we're just really working on trying to find whatever a system even is. And that's like our system play. Like, I don't see where she's where the equity is in the favorite. I didn't expect her to get a finish, and I even put a little sprinkle on Sam Hughes round 3 just to be annoying at plus 2,900. But of course, I think
Yeah, it was worth the heart attack with that one for sure because you got close, I guess. But man, I mean,
not really.
Sam Hughes is that kind of girl, you know. She's been able to get these couple upsets, like she beat Amorim too. So it's definitely a sharp play with someone that's not necessarily like she hasn't proven herself that much in Dudakova. But yeah, Fitz, you kind of we both, I get all of us kind of had the same inkling where we didn't go on Sam Hughes like Goose. That was good on him, but we were kind of a little bit off on Dudakova being that big of a favorite. So did the fight kind of play out how you thought?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty clear Hughes' victory, you know. So, like I said, I almost pulled the trigger on that, but didn't. So, wish I would have, you know. But hindsight's 2020. It was a bad fight to watch, though. You know, Dudakov never really warranted that big line. It just wasn't proven, you know. And Sam Hughes, it was proven tough, you know. We knew that going in, and she showed off some skills too. I thought it was a good performance from her.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I will say, like, Dudakova, I think she's young, right? She's like 23 or something, and that was her first loss. So I wouldn't write her off, man. I feel like she actually has decent hands, or 25, so she's still fairly young, but I feel like she has good hands, and she has good wrestling, obviously, but she just needs to round some stuff out, and I think she could be good. I don't know if she'll ever be like top 10 level, but I think she could be decent. But
The fight
yeah.
being a split is fucking egregious.
Yeah, I mean, it made it just because Dudakova was holding her for the last 2 minutes.
It was no, but it was
look
a
close.
30-27 the other way. It made no sense.
Oh yeah, that's bad. Yeah, the 30-27.
It's ridiculous. I mean, if we're gonna recap, I mean, like that was fucking retarded. I mean, that made no sense. Sorry to everybody. I mean, that was ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
but
it made no sense.
dude, this fight was a sick fight, man. And I'll let Fitz go first on this one because I'm sure he was screaming at the TV in round 1 because he had a parlay closing out with Guram. And man, I mean, Jordan gave him a heart attack, but he went in there and got the job done round 2 and 3. So
I thought it was lost, dude, because I mean, we all know the problem with Guram is he fades as the fight goes on. So dropping the first round is not good, especially, you know, he got hurt bad. He was able to though stall out Jordan though on bottom. So I thought it was a pretty, you know, 10-9 round. You know, I don't think it was 10-8 at all. You know, because the entire like 4 minutes of the fight played out, you know, completely stalled, no damage. So I thought it was correct decision. And just shout out, you know, Jordan stepping in there against a really tough opponent on short notice, man. Exactly. As my boy Colostrom said, the back tape, Guru texted me as soon as it happened, bro. How he got that
sick,
off the cage and bounced it off the cage was nasty work. Guram, I don't know if the ceiling's a top 10 fighter, you know, but I promise almost every one of his fights will be exciting, especially you put him in there with strikers, grapplers, doesn't really matter. And Jordan, you know, Vucinic, I think when he's down there at featherweight, or even if he decides to stay up with lightweight, this kid's a problem, man. This was a real tough challenge, and he was up to it. He was definitely up to it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love this fight because you saw round 1, I think, a little bit of reminisce from the KO that Guram took his last fight because I feel like he wasn't really confident in getting hit, and then when he got clipped, he got hurt pretty bad. So I think it was really good on him to come back around 2 and 3 and show that veteran savvy and take over. And man, like Guram, I still think is really good. It's just I don't know what it is. I feel like he has like a couple things that are just not going to let him get to that top level. But Vucinic, I mean, what do you think? Do you guys think he has like a top 10, top 5 type of ceiling, or you think this is kind of like another one of those overperformance things?
No, I don't personally think it was an overperformance. Especially when you think about the fact that takes the fight on short notice. He just fought a couple weeks ago. I honestly think with a full camp, he might take out Guram there. You know, with the cardio. Again, my shout out my co-host TV Scouting MMA. He had literally, you know, his play was Guram in over 1.5 because he felt that as good as Vucinic was, that short notice that he'd have a cardio drop off, and it's exactly what happened about at that 7-minute mark. Yeah, great fight. Honestly, that was one of the biggest things that had me spooked on face-offs. We expected Guram to be 2-3 inches taller, and they were the same fucking size. I mean, Vucenic is huge. How the fuck does he make featherweight? He's huge. So he might stay at lightweight. If he can make the cut safely, whatever, maybe he goes to featherweight. I'd be really interested to see what he does. I honestly don't even want to see him rush back either, because I think he has a fairly high ceiling. You know, I don't want to see him take that fight too early. Would like to see him recover and get a full camp and show me what you got, dude.
And what do you guys think about this fight right here, Guram versus Mauricio Hufi? Who do you think would take that one?
That's the dude. Ruffy's the dude. He's got just a bunch of those round 1 knockouts, right? Round 1, round 2 knockouts.
Yeah, the fighting words, man.
Sorry, my cats are fucking insane.
Oh,
no, yeah, I mean that's a crazy fight.
Yeah,
Guram's grappling though, that kind of makes it unfun because he'll shoot the takedown when he's not having fun on the feet.
Yeah, that'll be good. And I guess this fight just got announced, maybe Ludovic Klein versus Diego. So yeah, that fight will be sick for sure. Diego looked really good his last fight, so. But yeah, this next one, I'll go first on this one because I'm horrible bet, man. I'm never gonna bet on Dontel Mays again, man. But I don't know. I thought there was maybe some value on here, but Mays, fuck, man. I mean, the fight was just absolutely horrible. I wish that I can't remember the ref's name, but I wish that one ref that fucking breaks people up so fast was reffing this fight, because Keith Peterson just let them hold each other against the cage for 90% of the fight. And I mean, I think it was justified, but you know, with a bet on Mays, I would have loved to see him separate him like every 10 seconds and see what would have happened. But I mean, I think Mays had like a chance at distance, but just was so lazy. Never wanted to get off the cage. He got taken down a couple times, and
Sucks.
It is what it is. You know, dude's a bum. So Gassiev,
brother, he sucks. Brother, he's so bad. I feel bad because early in the week, I kind of was feeling Mays-ish. I'm like, oh, plus 200, plus 220. Shamil smells. But what it was is that I was salty that I picked him versus Jairzinho. And then when I rewatched that fight, Rosenstreik's takedown defense is so much more physical. He's so much more athletic. And Dontel Mays is just fat and lazy, and that's basically what you saw.
Yeah, man, exactly. And Shamil, I mean, I wasn't impressed by this performance at all.
No, he sucked.
I mean,
I lost money on. I wanted originally round 3, the round 3 decision prop, and I kind of, changed it in my brain and ended up going round 1, round 2. He's in Abu Dhabi. He's gonna show out. He knows he needs to perform. Bro, he sucks. He sucks.
Bro, I mean, he had him rocked in 20 seconds and then just shoots a takedown and does nothing.
Big Meal Shamil. That's what we call him. Big Meal Shamil.
I think he did say broke his hand though, so that could.
Well, I mean, they could just cut both these guys for what I give a shit. But I mean, I don't know. They're gonna bring him back. They'll bring Dontel Mays back, and instead of putting him right there at the bottom of the prelims, they'll make him the prelim main event or some shit for sure. But Shamil Gassiev, I mean, what do you do with this guy? Are you gonna kill him off with just? That's what I would do, but I don't know what the UFC wants to do with him, because they could keep bringing him trash opponents in this Abu Dhabi scene. But what do you think, Fitz? What would you do with Gassiev? Would you just
I mean, you just gotta understand it's heavyweight, dude. So many of them suck. I mean, I could see him fighting Spivak or Tiburonex, depending how this fight goes. Maybe gets the loser or something, but it's heavyweight. There's a lot of big sloppy guys.
Yeah, that's true. Next fight, man, I mean, total mismatch in this one. I honestly thought there was some value in Yahya too, but, it wasn't the case. He just got absolutely destroyed. So I think that's probably his last UFC fight. With Fernandez, I mean, I don't think we really learned much. He just went out there and beat an overmatched opponent, took him out. So hopefully he gets some confidence and we'll see, what he could do. But I'm still kind of skeptical on Fernandez too. But yeah, Fitz, I mean, were you impressed with Fernandez in this one enough to kind of change your opinion on him?
Yeah, I mean, I think Yahya just sucks. Might have been the worst male fighter in the UFC. The leg kicks, dude, were nasty. If you saw Yahya's leg, it was deformed. So I mean, it was a pretty spectacular win. That's what you got to go out there and do. And shout out Fernandez. Tough fight in his debut against the vet, and then goes there and takes care of business. But those leg kicks were nasty, man.
Yeah, dude, for
Yeah,
sure.
literally. My 3 cats. I have 2. My girlfriend has 1. They're literally just going crazy. Like it's fucking nuts. I don't know what's happening. They have the zoomies right now. Yeah, you literally said it. Yaya is by far the. Again, we talk hyperbolically a lot about fighters that could all kick our ass, even the women one, like for real. But Muhammad Yahya is the worst fighter on the roster. I mean, he can't do anything. I mean, he can't even strike. Like it's terrible. What, dude? What are you doing? Can you stop? Just chill. So I mean, the calf kicks absolutely brutalized Yaya, and for whatever reason, I felt really stupid. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna fade the narrative here because unless Kawe gets it round 1, it's going over. So let me play an over." And he got it round 1 because Yaya is that bad. I mean, he was supposed to do something at home. He's the UAE Warrior. That's his nickname from UAE Warriors, and he's in UAE and gets TKO'd round 1 because he is the worst fighter on the roster.
Yeah, just horrible fight. But man, this next fight, this was probably or the next 2 fights, I guess, were probably the 2 best fights on the card. I mean, Osman Mirzakhanov definitely showed out in this one. I mean, what did you think about his performance in this fight, Guru?
Listen, he's a fade waiting to happen. Let's be honest. The cardio is certainly a problem. But I also get burned because Alonzo Menafield is really that bad. I, of course, again, hashtag overs gang. I was on round 3 decision. I still kind of like my bet at the end of the day, plus 220. But, because I just felt like I knew that Alonzo wouldn't run out and get Blitzkrieg himself again, like he did the fight before. So I felt like he'd be a little bit more tentative. But at the end of the day, Azamat felt that he was going to die. So he just went full berserker mode and killed him. And it was really, if there's one way to lose a bet, a 4-piece combination with somebody getting completely obliterated, I'll live with it. I had Azamat in a parlay, so we live to fight another day.
Yeah, I mean, shit, too. Alonzo was eating so many, like, huge shots, no problem, too, that you probably, like, were thinking, like, he's good, and then he hurts him, and Mirzakhanov just goes fucking berserker mode, like you said, it just takes him out. So, I mean, I guess that shows something with Mirzakhanov, though, that, he definitely has that warrior spirit, but I kind of agree with you in terms of, like, if you put him up there against someone that could really push a pace that is going to be able to, like, close that gap on him or make him even wrestle. We haven't seen that either. I do think his cardio is going to be an issue, but the guy's dangerous, and I feel like he has a awkward build, like for the weight class, like with his height, and he's able to generate a lot of power, good speed. He's good in the pocket. So Fitz, I mean, what do you think about Mirzakhanov going against Carl Ostrom said, like someone like Jamal Hill or a top 5 guy like that?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think you guys are being just a little harsh on him. I think, if you look at this guy's striking, it's really exciting. I mean, he has some sick knockouts. This was one of them. I mean, this was nasty. I feel bad for Menafield. We said he's coming back too fast, and he paid for it here. But if you ask me, like exactly what you're saying, whatever, if someone pushes the pace and is able to mix in the wrestling, they're going to give him a real tough time. And then you think about the division, there's just not that many guys that are going to do that to him, Rakic, Jan maybe at the very top, but he's going to run through a lot of guys. I would like to see him more active, of course, especially with the age. Jamal Hill's a huge step up, I mean, I think him versus Olberg is a crazy fight, to be honest. I'd probably be on Olberg, but that's a banger of a fight.
Olberg kills. I think he would actually kill Mirzakhanov if that's the fight.
Yeah, Olberg, man. Hopefully he gets that fight soon, man, because I'm excited to see the fights.
You know what? That's the fight now. It doesn't really do anything for the rankings, but put Mirzakhanov versus Dominic Reyes.
Who would you would go with Reyes in that one for the upset?
You know what? I don't know. Maybe. I think that's interesting. His length, the boxing speed. He's got no chin, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny. Azamat will probably just get like Anthony Smith or something, or Johnny Walker or something ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. I feel like they're gonna give him like like Anthony Smith or some bullshit matchup, and then like give him like someone like right in the mix, like for a title
Did you
shot. But
did you hear like Nikita Kroylov is back from the dead and supposedly gonna fight?
oh shit, really? No, I didn't really. Who
I
does he
read
think
that
I'm
some.
back?
I
He
don't
just
no
said he
idea.
was back.
Yeah, I read that somewhere, but who knows?
Oh shit, that's interesting because he's actually someone that could be like he could do that wrestling threat that Fitz is talking about too. So yeah, that I hope he comes back soon. But this next fight, fuck, this fight was sick. I mean, I thought Brenner should have mixed in the wrestling here, but I feel like maybe it wouldn't have happened either way. And he made it a favela brawl, and it didn't work out good for him. You know, Joao was just too big, too strong, and too sharp, man. I mean, Elvis Brenner was trying to make it a brawl, and Alvarez was staying real technical, clean, and he's just so powerful. The guy's definitely. I mean, you could argue he's one of like the heaviest hitters at 155 for sure. Like when he connected on that one punch that Brenner ate, like in the third round, I couldn't believe that Brenner didn't get knocked out by that dude. It was just like fucking perfect punch. But yeah, Brenner's a gangster. He ate so many knees too after that, and he still wasn't out. But Alvarez is back, man. He made his return to the division. He made weight and ran through someone that isn't necessarily like super high level, but a really tough guy that could push anyone. And it wasn't a close fight. So I think you should put Alvarez, back in there with another ranked opponent and see what happens next. I mean, I'll try to keep him away from heavy wrestlers like Armin because I want to see fun fights. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what you guys think. Like, what type of striking fight do you think would be fun for Alvarez to take next, Fitz?
Give him
Yeah,
what's his
Bobby
name?
Green was a terrible call out for
Yeah, it
sure.
was such a Jalen Turner is exactly
I was
fight
dude.
the
You
guy who knocked him
literally.
out.
I wanted to cut you
Exactly.
off,
Yeah,
but I didn't
thank
want
Yeah,
to
you.
be a
that would
jerk.
be so sick,
I was
dude.
gonna say
Two
Jalen
tall
Turner.
ass guys. That would be
For me,
crazy.
though, I disagree with what you said about Brenner making a brawl. I feel like he was staying on the outside, dancing around too much. He should have came forward if he was going to have success in the striking. And I mean, I don't know how for me, how many of the knees really were landed flush, but this was Brenner, in my opinion, took a lot of damage. And I mean, we knew he was tough, but this could be like a career changing
All his
performance if
fights
it.
too have been like that in UFC, where he's just been like coming back from the dead to win some of these fights, and then. But
This
yeah,
this was he ate so many knees. I mean, I'm a big fan of Joel Alvarez. I did have a ticket on Alvarez for decision, which I was starting to get a little confident in, and then
yeah, it was
it bit me in the ass. It was still a good bet though. I love Joel Alvarez, man. I've always been a fan, and this is really like the one like this is what everyone said he was going to be. A performance like this, because he was like a marauder in there, man.
Yeah, I mean that was awesome. I mean, what did you think about it, Guru, that fight?
Yeah, I was a little frustrated personally because I got greedy and instead of taking Joel Alvarez by finish, I took Joel Alvarez round one, round two. So that was a little frustrating for me. But I mean, it was a beautiful performance from Alvarez. Um, Brenner was a very popular dog this week. I was happy to avoid that. I felt that the size of Joel Alvarez would be really difficult for Brenner to deal with. I felt that Joel Alvarez had more power, had the stronger hands. I felt that especially up close in the clinch, which it didn't go there at all, which was really weird. I felt that in the clinch, Alvarez would brutalize him.
Yeah.
It really didn't even get there until like round three. And yeah, I just didn't expect Brenner to grapple. Like, yeah, it's kind of the fight played out basically how I thought, except I thought he'd finish him sooner. Although I guess if he catches him in that choke,
10
I don't
seconds
know.
earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know how close it
Yeah,
was.
a little sooner, he probably gets it
looked.
there
I
too.
thought it was done right there.
So
Yeah, even in round one, he had that guillotine. It was close too in the first,
It was
but
the anaconda at the end of the round. Yeah, he had
yeah,
it cinched.
yeah,
But-
it wasn't my best night for props, but I still like all the shots I took, so that makes me feel good.
yeah. And this next fight, I actually thought this was a great performance from Mackenzie. Man, I was impressed with the wrestling, and I think her striking is definitely getting better. So I just feel like the only thing that's gonna be an issue for Mackenzie, honestly, are hard, heavy hitters. Like when she faces girls that can really put that power on her, then she's gonna have a problem because she's just too reckless and doesn't have good defense on the feet. But if she's fighting someone that doesn't have enough power to hurt her, she can throw with heat, man. I mean, she throws nice straight punches, and her wrestling is obviously getting better, and she pushes a high pace. So I think she could beat a lot of girls. It's just I don't know if she could ever be like top level, but for Godinez, man, I mean, big stock drop recently, man. I mean, I feel like she was at one point like one of the biggest prospects in that division, and now it's like she's not even in the top 15. She's taken a lot of bad losses, and we'll see. I think she could rebound, but I just feel like she isn't as good as she was really thought of in the beginning, and beat a bunch of girls that couldn't wrestle, But Mackenzie got a solid win again, and yeah, Fitz. I mean, what did you think about Mackenzie's performance in this fight?
I thought it was good. I thought she should have relied on the hands a little more. I thought she was looking better on the feet, than Loopy was, and landed definitely the harder shots. I had the Dern by decision. I thought it was a pretty good bet, pretty safe all the way, and we got to see Mackenzie Dern in full mount, which is always fun. Yeah, Loopy, I feel you're being just a little hard. This is a tough matchup for her always, I think, and so is Verna. And I faded Loopy twice in a row, won both times. But those are just two matchups that are really tough. I still think she can put it together. I don't know how young she is. Speaking of, younger women's fighter, 30, so not that young, but still should be right in the prime of her career. If she just picks the volume up and has like a really crazy pace, and I think, kind of like a Mexican style, throwing a lot of punches and mixing in relentless takedowns, that's her best pass to being, a top 15 fighter again. Even if she sharpens up the tools, it'll always be lacking against better strikers.
Yeah, I just feel like she's too boxing centric, man. I mean, with that high guard, no kicking, I mean, it's not really going to be a successful style in MMA when you have short arms, But yeah, I mean, Gert, it seems like you're not a big Godinez fan.
You know what it was? It's actually pretty funny. I was kind of on I had a plus money ticket on Godinez earlier in the week, and my co-host is drilling in my ear, Mackenzie Dern's gonna beat her, man. Loopy's not, gonna go to the ground. If she goes to the ground, it's gonna be a mistake. She doesn't have the fight IQ. She doesn't have the physicality. Yeah, to a T. I ended up playing Mackenzie Dern money line tracked. I had Mackenzie Dern decision plus 275 untracked. She smoked her, and it's not because Loopy's not talented enough. I truly think it's a fight IQ thing or game planning.
Yeah,
thing. It's just not there. Mackenzie Dern has had no chin. When she can't get her jiu-jitsu going, she ends up in a lot of situations she shouldn't be in, but Loopy was unable to capitalize on them because she doesn't really have power. She's like kind of good at most things, but like kind of a master of none at the end of the day. And when it came down to this, again, just Dern is a better athlete and has a specialty, and it helped her.
Yeah, for sure. And this next fight, I mean, man, kind of a sad fight, right? Tony retired with one glove, I guess. I don't know if he's, I think he's going to fight again. We'll see it somewhere. But yeah, quick first round finish for Chiesa. Fitz, you said you actually had a bet on the round one. So pretty easy cash for you there, huh?
Yeah, plus 300. Shout out Billy's the one who really put it in my head on Friday. He goes, the books lose it if Chiesa wins and sub by round one. So, he said it was a market play or something, and I liked it. It made a lot of sense to me. And as soon as Chiesa got the takedown, he locked in the choke. It was literally over so fast. But yeah, sad to see Tony go out, but he can't have another fight in the UFC. Maybe against Kiefer Crosby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much.
Or Muhammad Ali back at 155,
Yeah, him versus Yahya. Who do you think would win that fight?
Ferguson versus Yahya. I would take Tony.
I mean,
that'd be pretty funny though.
That'd be a hilarious fight in UAE if they did.
Main event.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we have much to say about this one, man. I mean, Chiesa, I think he called out Colby. Like, is that a fight people?
That's a great fight. I think that's a great fight.
Yeah,
I love it.
Colby would take that fight at least.
He wouldn't take
Colby, yeah, he would. If he's gonna fight, if he doesn't fight Chiesa, he's fighting no one.
He's not.
Yeah, I'm
he
trying to
won't take
think
that
like
fight.
who is he gonna fight? Like
If
Chiesa
he-
would be an easy win to then like call people out to kind of try to weasel your way into a title shot. But
I think
I
it's
don't
a
think it
great
would be.
fight.
I don't think it would be an easy win. I'm not saying that like I just said that, but I'm talking about like in Colby's head, like where it's like a wrestler that can't knock him out. But yeah, I don't know. I think Chiesa would be an interesting fight if Chiesa came in like great shape, because he's the better grappler for sure. It's just who knows, like the striking, like who would you favor on the feet in that fight? I guess Colby, right?
Yeah.
Colby would be like minus 250, I think, 300 against Chiesa, man.
Yeah,
Oh.
I like his pace at the end of the day.
Would get murdered against Colby. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it would be like if Chiesa gets tired, you'd start to get mauled for sure if it was like 5 rounds. But Colby much better volume. Yeah,
Let's
I mean,
talk
but that's
about
a fight. I definitely think they could make that like a main event on like a card where they have to sell tickets, like not a pay-per-view card, but just like a main event for some card. So yeah, maybe they'll
I
do
think
it.
it
But
could
this
work.
next fight, man, I mean, awesome fight. This fight, I thought it was a good fight. Some people thought it was boring fight. I don't know why. I mean, I
It
thought
was
it
a
was
boring
entertaining.
fight.
I thought it was. I liked it. I don't know.
It was.
Stevenson was pot
There
shotting.
wasn't enough action,
He
but at the
dropped him,
same
I guess.
time,
But
but you know what? He was cruising. Vera cost me a ton of money. I liked Vera.
yeah,
Honestly, and it's so funny. He literally blocked the punch, but it went through the guard. He was a split second late, and he would have won the fight because he was coasting.
yeah. I think he would have won if he didn't get dropped. I feel like it was like going towards Vera by decision. But
Yeah.
But even the judge didn't. One of the judges had it 30-27 though for Divas.
Really? Yeah, I didn't even look at those, so that's weird.
Yeah. So it's like I don't get how you could get these in round 2, but one of the judges had it 30-27. But same issues with Vera, right? I mean, you bet on him, but it's like, man, didn't pull the trigger
There's
enough
no
at
point.
least, and got out wrestled again. So it's like Figgy. I don't think it's like he called out O'Malley, and I think it'd be a cool fight. I was saying that before on Friday when we did a show that I would like that fight, but I don't think he would have much of a chance. I just think it'd be a cool matchup. It's cool name for O'Malley to get on his resume type of thing. But
Figgy and Jan.
Yeah, that fight is
That's
the fight that I want to see now. Figueiredo versus Jan, and I mean, you think Jan by murder in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make that a main event, and it's Jan late.
Yeah. What do you think, Fitz? Were you impressed by Figgy, or you think this is kind of like the end of his win streak at 35s?
I mean, if he fights Jan, yeah, it's going to be the
Corey
end of his...
too. I mean, I think that'd be cool too.
I think Corey too is a tough fight for him, but Figgy's a beast, man. I was on him here by decision. I did have a little play on the knockout too, so when he dropped him, at least it gave me some hope. That the line was insane on that. But Cheeto, he said it himself. I think he should have just taken more time off and you talk about like a career-changing performance. I said it against Brenner, against Alvarez. You hope to see that, and you see it a lot on this card. Tony against Gaethje. I think Sean did that to Cheeto, man. I don't know if Cheeto will ever return to the form after the amount of damage he took against Sean O'Malley, man, because he should have, if this was, Cheeto at his best, I think he comes back and wins that third round, to be honest. Against someone like Figgy, but Figgy, shows his dynamic ability at 135. He definitely has improved cardio at the weight class. I think without the weight cut, the cardio is not as big as a problem, but we're yet to see him go 5 at 135. And again, someone like Peter Yan, who is going to have so much more volume, it's just a real tough matchup, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree. One thing I will say about Figgy too is he definitely is more durable at 35 because right before he dropped Cheeto, Marlon landed that clean punch like that turned his chin. I mean, it rocked him, but he didn't get dropped or anything. So I feel like Figueiredo's pretty durable at 35. But yeah, I just think he'll end up getting drowned by Piotr Jan if they do that fight. But yeah, shout out to Chronic Combat Conversations in the chat. So shout out, man, here for the double guru experience. Yes, sir. And Peyton Talbot could probably beat Cheeto. I think he probably could. I mean, but I don't know what they want to do with Cheeto next. He's still like a fan favorite. So it's like,
He's a
Uh, we'll,
huge fan base.
we'll see. We'll
Huge
see. I think
fan base.
Cheeto's still going to be around. It's just like, see, turning into gatekeeper mode. Seems like it for sure. But Figgy, it's like the reason why I would give Figgy the title shot over Umar, and I know it's probably not going to happen, but it's just because if Sean wins, it's a name, like it's a double champ that he beat someone that has won the UFC belt 2 different times, and I think it's a way easier fight than Umar if they want to keep the belt on Sean. But we'll see what they do. Any fight Davison is in next is going to be sick. So, but yeah, man, co-main event. I'll go first on this one. I don't think this bet was horrible, at the end of the day, but had a bet on Oleg Shachek to win, and it wasn't a dominant performance from Shar. I mean, Mihal pushed him. I think in the first round, I don't know if you could call that a knockdown, but he kind of dropped him in a way, and then he took him down a few times. He was pushing the pace on him, but Shar, he's better than I thought for sure because Mihal, I think it wasn't like prime optimal Mihal, the best version we've ever seen of him, but it still was a good version of him, and he went hard. He didn't quit in the fight, and Shar showed me decent cardio, and his volume was good again. He had better hands than I expected, and his kicks are always really good. So, yeah, man, Mihal, I feel like we should all push to get him a new contract and actually get a fucking team, man. Try to go down to 170 or something and fucking see if you could do something, man. Because it's like he always puts on fun fights, and but I don't know. This is his last fight on his contract, so we'll see if he comes back to the UFC. Seems like they kind of served him up here for a loss and then let him go. But yeah, what did you think about it, Guru? Shar's performance, and then is Mihal going to get another fight?
Yeah, I mean, again, Shar is somebody who is exciting, has a fun kicking style. Really is a more round 3 decision type of guy than he is a round 1, round 2 guy. Um, and he gets the perfect tailor-made matchup here and still really kind of does nothing with it. He fights anybody that can grapple a little bit. He's gonna hit some real real potholes. And Olajaychuk is literally, he left his gym, which was a decent gym, whatever, an okay gym. He left his gym and now trains out of a garage with his friends. Like I think he's done. So yeah, I mean, they basically, who do you know who's lost 2 fights in round 1 in the first half of a year and gets booked before fucking August? Like they literally he wanted to make as much money as possible, and they were like happy to oblige.
But hey, he went in there and fucking fought for his
It's a
money.
good fight, dude.
He
And this
didn't
guy's
just
got
roll over.
chin.
So. But yeah, man.
Yeah,
I mean, what
it's
did you think
possible they give him
about?
something.
What did you think about it, Fitz? Shara. You think would you keep giving him striking fights? Like,
Yeah,
I
of
don't know.
course. I mean, why wouldn't you? He's so fun on the feet. Dude, his kicks are so fast, man. Like lightning fast. PFL, I think it's kind of dumb how they track like the strike speed, but if they track this guy's kick speed, it would be crazy numbers because they're lightning. He should fight Kevin Holland. Calling out Nick Diaz is so lame. The Holland fight is just a fun fight. I don't know how it plays out, but the buildup will be fun. Shar is just a character just because the guy looks crazy. I mean, his beard is crazy long. But this was Michelle, I thought it was a lot worse bet before the fight. I think it played out pretty close, to be honest. Michelle was definitely in there. He definitely was landing. Shar just has a chin, bro.
He won
was
one
eating
round.
everything.
Gave him a round. So
he was eating everything. Like he had no reactions, and Michelle lands pretty hard. But same goes for Michelle. Crazy chin on him, and this was a good fight.
yeah, I thought this was one of the better fights of the night. I think it won fight of the night, which I don't agree with, but Shara, got that 50K. So yeah, man, main event time. Super impressive performance from Umar, and kind of exactly what I thought was going to happen. I just feel like the wrestling threat from Umar shut down the striking for Corey, and then he outstruck him on the feet, had Corey frozen. And I mean, Corey definitely put in that work and, the scrambles, and he was able to make him work. He got up a lot, he defended a lot of takedowns, but I mean, defense was really all he was doing the whole fight. He was just trying to kind of figure out what was going on in the fight, what Umar wanted to do, and couldn't really figure him out, man. So Umar 18-0 now. You guys, what do you think, Fitz? You would give him the title shot over Davison, you're saying, right? Personally?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's just Sean, especially if Sean beats Marab, will be at the point where I think O'Malley fight sells against anyone, and you have the undefeated Nurmagomedov storyline. All they need to see is O'Malley versus Nurmagomedov. Umar is this was a shitty main event, boring fight. Corey, Corey decision would have been awesome for me, but I said my main play was going to be on the fight to go to decision. I thought it was a great line. That should have been like minus 250. It was really never close to ending. Corey's takedown defense was impressive to me, at least how he neglected any of Umar's offensive grappling. For me, all the grappling, should have not been scored. They were getting into like 50-50 positions, and Corey a lot of time was higher, even though Umar would have the back. But it was on the feet, in my opinion, where Umar won the fight. I thought Corey just didn't have the volume, didn't have the pressure he needed, and Umar's clean. It was a very clean performance, and he's just no holes in his game. The cardio is definitely not a hole. He's just sharp, man, and he's a tough fight for anyone.
Yeah, man. I mean, what do you think? Or you think he could beat those guys in the title fight coming up?
Honestly, I think he's hoping that. I think a easier matchup for him for sure would be Sean O'Malley, but yeah, I think I think for sure he's getting the title shot after the Sean O'Malley Merab fight, which I'm very excited for. If Sean does win, I kind of wouldn't even be surprised to see him move up to featherweight and not fight Umar, but yeah. Would love to see it. Umar's getting the title shot, guaranteed.
Yeah, and for Corey, I mean, what do you think about Corey now? You think he's ever going to get another title shot, or you think that's...
Man, I love the dude's attitude. I love the dude's personality. Maybe give him somebody like Henry Cejudo or something fun. I don't know, something random. But, you got to really wonder what is next for him. Because, I mean, he's fought all the people up here. He's fought Peter Yan. He's fought Marlon Vera. Figgy we just kind of talked about. Henry Cejudo I mentioned. He fought Song Yadong. Maybe it's the Jose Aldo fight. Maybe that's the fight. You give him Jose Aldo. That's the fight. You give him Jose Aldo. He's a good name. Deserves a legend fight like that. And if Jose Aldo can beat Corey Sandhagen, then why not try to put him in talks for a title shot?
Yeah, Fitz. I mean, what do you think? What would you do with Corey next? Would you give him another main event? Would you give him a name like that, or would you kind of see if he can, a prospect can get by Corey?
No, I don't think too many prospects are getting by Corey. It takes someone like Umar Nurmagomedov. I love the Aldo shout, but I'd like, who knows? Aldo's got a fight book. Who knows how long his next fight after the one he's got booked will be, and if he wins, I think he will win. But I want to see Sandhagen stay active. He just took a year off. He's already old enough at bantamweight. He didn't take a ton of damage in this fight. I'd like him to get in there by the end of the year, and I just don't know if Aldo's on that same time page. It's tough, dude, because he just fought a lot of the guys. He already beat the Fonts, the Veras, the Song Yadongs. He already beat all those guys. So I'd have to.
It's the only fight left. It's the only fight left.
He even beat Mario too. I guess that was a long ass time ago, but he even beat Mario Batista. So
I think Henry's a decent shout. I don't know if Henry will want to fight him.
But... Yeah, Henry was talking shit about him too, like on his podcast or whatever. He was like saying like Umar was going to dominate him, and Corey had no path to victory and all this stuff. So I don't know if he wants to actually fight him, but he definitely was saying he's like he can't wrestle and all this stuff. So maybe in Henry's head, he could think it might be a good matchup if he really believes that, But yeah, man, I sent you something in that private chat. You could pull up my bets right quick so you could talk about that and then go on to the next card real fast. But yeah, man, been doing really well betting recently. We've cashed on 6 events in a row, and this one, I mean, it's like shitty straight bets that I had on this card for sure. We had fucking Dontel Mays and Yaya, but did well on the props, and then we did really good on a lot of the regional scene cards. I actually had another bet as well on Tyler Stout. He was a plus 275 for Fury, and they didn't have him on Bet MMA Tips, but so I would have cashed, 4.75 units on that event tracked. But yeah, man, been doing really well. So go over to patreon.com/prediction guru, get access to more breakdowns and all my bets. And yeah, man, for sure. Appreciate it. And let's get on to this next card, though, man. I mean, not the best card for sure. I mean, we got a rematch of a heavyweight fight that was shitty the first time. So I don't know why they're doing it again. But yeah, I mean, let's go from the top. I mean, first, I'll just ask you this. Does anyone have any, confident plays that just stick out right away when they're looking at the card? Fitzinger.
I hate this card. This
Yeah,
card is
man.
pure
It's
AIDS.
just- and the only thing I was looking at, like, and it's 185, but Carol Hoso, but it's like I could see that being a fucking like close split, like where it's like it could play out that way.
If you're playing chalk in women's MMA, you better expect a goddamn finish.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
not
could
doing
see her
it.
subbing her too, because Panny just got fucking subbed so quick versus Macy, like looked like shit her last fight, but I don't know.
Woof.
It's a
Woof.
tough one, tough card,
I kind
But,
of
like-
want to. I kind of want to take a shot on Jarno Aaron's like plus 3 million because
Yeah,
I don't know
think that
why.
I
Why
honestly
is
agree with
why?
that.
What's up with Yusuf Zalal? Like he beat Billy Q, who's like had 2 babies and is opened up a new gym. Like he wasn't fully invested, so I'm not sold.
And the stand up, I mean, in that fight, you'd think Aaron's would have like the edge and power and finishing ability
At
for
least
sure.
he's got no chin, but yeah,
and
I
no
mean,
no takedown defense either. It's like 15%.
yeah, he sucks, but
But
he
Zalal
fights to his feet.
Zalal
But yeah,
doesn't hold anybody down though. Like when he takes
right,
him down,
and he fights to his feet a lot, and then Zalal
Zarno
has
will
maybe
just stand
cardio
back
issues.
up. Like he could just take him down a bunch of times and win that way, but I don't see him like
Yep.
fucking blanketing them with top control for 3 rounds. I'd be
For a
kinda
fight that
surprised.
I expect to go the distance, I will take a little sprinkle on a plus 300 dog, probably. Because he's also bigger. So,
Yeah, and I mean, what do you guys think about? You were saying, Fitz, you kind of were thinking Philo maybe as a dog, right?
Yeah, I don't know because I'm a big fan of Nashimeno. I just think it's interesting. Both guys, pretty prolific grapplers. I do think Allen's a little bigger though, so in a grappling fight, you think that does definitely play a factor. And like you said to me before, if it's on the feet, I think it's Allen. So I don't know if I'll be able to pull the trigger. The problem is, I like a lot of the favorites here. I'm not overly confident. I just got to do some more digging in terms of like my most confident play. I think Carl Williams here is probably a pretty safe pick. I'm not a big fan of the guy he's fighting. I'm not too high on him, and I think Williams should be able to just use the offensive wrestling and
I'm a Carl Williams hater, man. I don't know what it is. It's like I
His
like him.
fights suck.
He's good, but it's like, dude, when you bet on him, he has such low finishing like chances for a heavyweight, and you have to fucking rely on him like wrestling for 3 rounds, and like he could get clipped and knocked out at any time because he gets so tired and sloppy sometimes. But he's a freak athlete for sure. It's just like I couldn't figure out, dude. I was trying to fucking watch Denise's last fight with Austin Lane, and it's like I couldn't even fucking watch it on ESPN Plus. So it's like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, I think he got controlled in that fight for like a long ass time.
I'm sorry. I just remembered that Danny Barlow's not fighting Uros Medic. I just realized.
Barlow's fighting that
remember.
fucking. He's fighting like some dude that's actually like a heavy hitter though, like
Some
like,
Russian
some
guy.
sweet
Yeah, I have no
knockouts.
idea who
Yeah.
he's fighting. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Fuck
When did they
Morales on the
announce
Contender
that?
Series. I think this weekend.
Like it's only been like a week notice or something for him. But yeah, he fought
Yeah.
Michael Morales on Contender like 3 years ago, and he won the stand up, but he just got taken down, and then he took like a long layoff and came back and beat like 3 regional guys by KO, and now he's like getting signed short notice. So he's a King's MMA guy. So it's like if it's a striking fight, he'll probably be too slow and lose, but like he has that power to maybe like catch him and win if he gets lucky. You know what I mean? Kind of what I'm seeing. But he's not like a grappler though. Like even though he has that Ov name. So
Not a grappler. If he doesn't have the size advantage and he's not a grappler, on short notice, it might be a little too much to ask. But I really do have to watch the tape. I know nothing. I just realized it.
It is a cool fight though, because like Barlow has like that. He's like tall, him and Vrednikov are the same height, and like he has like a 75-inch reach or something, and Barlow's like 79, so they're both like tall and long and stuff. But
It's gonna be hard to have a size advantage over Barlow.
yeah, at least with the reach, man. He probably has the longest reach for sure at that weight, I would say.
Are we going in a specific order with these fights, or just kind of hopping around?
Now I was just kind of like talking about him, trying to see like where it kind of have like maybe like a lean, but
Yeah, because
just because this
you guys were
card,
talking,
it's like
yeah,
you know,
because you guys were
this,
talking about the Nascimento fight before, and I kind of like Nascimento here. Maybe again now you probably need a tape refresher, but I just felt that Filio was like kind of willing to play on the ground and make mistakes there, like getting his knee busted up by Makayev, who doesn't have good top control. I feel like Alan Nascimento has much, much, much better top control. And
well, that was the
better
opposite
jiu-jitsu.
though. It was like Philo was the one that had Makayev and like that knee
Oh
bar.
right, I'm blitzed up. Exactly.
And
So
then he got
that's
choked out though. He like gassed and then got choked out.
Right. So I do kind of trust Alan Nascimento more, but that's actually hilarious that I have that mixed up because
the one thing about Nascimento though, it's like that throws you off a little bit with the line is he hasn't fought in a year and a half, and he pulled out of his last 2 fights too.
Yeah.
So
and to your point, Elves Brenner shoot a box, Alan Nascimento shoot a box. There's just there's no good game planning there. Like they're all exciting fighters, but they're not like.
I feel like a lot of that team has been losing lately too. A lot of them have been losing or like kind of like not having like great fights. But yeah, I mean, what about the main event? I mean, Tabora won the first time, right? And it was pretty easy win for him, and now he's the underdog. So do you guys like that?
I'm curious what you guys think, and then I'll.
Yeah, what do you think, Fitz, on that fight? You think Spivak has closed the gap like that?
I mean, I guess maybe it's just because Tybura is getting up there in age. But for me, I mean, I think it's got to be Tybura here. But I'm also Spivak. We talk about being haters. I don't like Spivak at all. I never pick him in fights. I'm just not a big fan. And whatever, I just think Tybura is better. He already showed it. But the one thing is, Spivak's younger. You expect him, to make more advancements, more improvements. And Tybura with the age, eventually will regress. So I think that's why the line is the way it is. But it's heavyweight. I don't think that regression is as amplified as it is in other divisions. I don't know why. You can pull up every other fight, but it doesn't let me see the line on that first fight what it was. Which I think
Tybura had to be a pretty big favorite. I feel like because it was like when Spivak
It was Pick'em.
He was new and it really
it was Pick'em. Yeah, and Spivak was the favorite because he had just come off a round 2 choke out of Tai Tuivasa in Australia as a sizable underdog.
Yeah, I agree with Fitz though. I kind of lean with Tybura, man, because I feel like the size is going to be a big factor. Like
I feel like most people lean with Tybura, and I understand it, and that's kind of where I was going to. I got in on the early line. I got Spivak minus 110. It's like minus 140, minus 150 now. I just felt like, and I could be very wrong, but like in the first fight, he's stuffing most of the takedowns. It's when he decides to try to turn Tybura's takedown attempt into his own judo throw that Tybura just lands on top of him. I felt that like Spivak kind of has the faster hands, and also, when you look back at these fights, versus Tybura, he weighed 234 pounds. In his last fight versus Cyril Gane, he came in at 256. So he's gained 20 pounds, which should definitely help. If Tybura doesn't get the grappling going, I just think that Spivak will win on the feet over time.
What do you guys think like about the 5 rounds? So you think that would favor Spivak, the 5 rounds?
I don't know why. I just kind of do.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like
Spivak definitely doesn't favor us as fans. I'll tell you that much.
No, and either way, because if I could absolutely see myself being the worst breakdown I've ever given, and watching Marcin Tybura lay on top of him for 5 rounds like Almeida did to Derek Lewis. Like this would not be surprising to me at all. This is the worst fight, the worst card, but we got to find a way to make money, right, boys?
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, and this next one, I mean, I'm off of it now, but I was thinking I was gonna bet Damon. I don't know why Damon Jackson versus Chepe, just because like I watched Chepe's fight with Pat Sabatini. I watched a couple of his other fights, and he definitely gets tired when he has to grapple heavy, and he's lost like a few grapplers, but Jackson, I just can't trust him. I've trusted him a couple times, and I like betting on him for whatever reason. And he's came through in some moments for me, but it's like his cardio and durability. I just can't trust him anymore. And Chepe's been looking really good. So, but you guys think there's value there, like on Damon Jackson?
Yeah,
Look, I
definitely.
loved I love Damon Jackson as a person. I'm just not sure. You guys listen. You guys are probably right. I mean, he has to get those takedowns going. I just don't necessarily trust Damon Jackson's chin,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think Chepe's. I mean, I know Chepe's riding high on confidence right now. Um, I mean, come on, what would you guys line Charrier versus Damon Jackson? I mean, obviously Styles makes fights, but like,
Yeah, Jackson would be like probably like my plus 300.
yeah, it's a problem. So
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think he
I kind of
deserves
lean
to
Chepe.
be. I don't think Chepe deserves to be minus 240 though. But
I think you get a finish. I
he
think he's
could for
live for.
sure.
I think he's
Well, I'm
live for a
about to look.
knockout.
Yeah, him by knockout plus 200. That's definitely not that. I don't think that's a bad prop, man. On Bet Online right now, plus 200 for because if when Damon Jackson loses, it's almost always by knockout. Almost every time
Yeah,
when he loses. So
four
yeah,
knockouts for four knockout losses for Damon Jackson, 7 knockout wins for Chepe, 5 round 1 finishes, 3 in round 2. I would take Chepe round 1, round 2. I don't know. I wouldn't even take the sub off the board because it could be a club and sub. I'd rather slice it that way.
yeah. What do you think, Fitz? You said you like the knockout prop, or you kind of lean in with Damon?
It's tough, man, because Chepe, I feel like eventually he's gonna um find his level, and this win streak has been good, but I'm not as high on him as some people are. And I think you were making good points about Damon being able to push the pace with the grappling, but you know Jackson's got the new hairline, so maybe that has given him some new superpowers. But I just feel like Chepe with that judo base, I was a wrestler myself. Those guys are fucking tough to take down, man. They have a strong base, and I think on the feet it's got to be Chepe all day.
Yeah, yeah. And then what about Yana? You guys think she's gonna? I saw like pictures of her, and she looks like in great shape. Like she kind of rededicated herself. But you think it's gonna be her last fight in UFC, or you think she can kind of beat and expose Chandler Fitz?
Yeah, I mean, I have to look a little more into Yana, because she's been on a tough losing streak. But originally, I was pretty confident in her. Just I was really soured against Chandler, I think, because of the one performance against Norma Dumont. But she did beat Estela Nunez, or I think, and,
That
and,
fight
and
was
that's
horrible too, bro.
Estella was like 2 feet shorter than her. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I would like Yana here, but this could be like, Yana fights are always like just close fights, or a lot of control time against the cage. I don't think she ever really looks that dominant in her fights. So it'll be tough. These women fights back to back right here are sketchy, man. But I like both the favorites to get it done in Jose and Santos. I just think they're more proven and more well rounded. And I think that's what will shine through it, is they're able to mix in the grappling with the striking better than their opponents.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got anything else, Guru, on this card that you kind of like any of the
No,
fights that we didn't talk about?
I love this format. I love chopping up the recap and breaking it down with you boys, talking these fights. I kind of lean Yana Santos. I feel like Chelsea Chandler's a size bully, and they're going to be the same size. And Yana Santos has the size, the experience, and she's got Tiago Santos and all his garden variety vegetables at her disposal, since there's no
Yeah.
USADA. So I'm going to go with Santos here.
Okay,
But
and we got a
yeah,
live update here right now. Chris Gutierrez, he had his fight with
Nice
Basharat
college
canceled. Now he's
he's
fighting
breaking
fighting
news.
Kang Lee.
Kang Lee. So I don't even know who that guy is. I have to kind of. Do you
I
know who
didn't
he
see
is?
Marcel tweet, so I don't know that that's. I mean, Marcel could be late.
I don't. Where did you hear that, Colostrum? But if that's true, I have to kind of look into Kang. But least we got 11 fights. I feel like they definitely have to add a fight or two because there's only 10 fights right now. But yeah, guys, we basically broke down almost every fight. I mean, I guess the last two we'll talk about them real quick. Luciano versus Alencar. It's a rematch. I mean, you think
Kill
there's
me.
value on
Fucking kill me.
you
Kill
think,
me.
yeah, I mean, yeah, horrible fight in that one. And then Charalampas versus Kazama. Honestly, man, I feel like Kazama has some value because Gregorio looked horrible against
Dog
fucking
shit,
Sam
bro.
Halliger. But
Dog shit.
He's so bad. That cost me.
Yeah. But it's
That
like
was so
fuck.
bad.
Kazama got slept so bad his first two fights in UFC. It's like if you bet on that fool, he might just get put out. But yeah, man, this card, we could keep talking about it, but pretty shit card. Hopefully we can find some bets though. I'm sure we will. All of us will have some plays. Check out Guru's podcast later in the week. If you want to, do a little bit of a plug and say what's up, and we're gonna close this up, man. So yeah, Guru, tell them where they can find you at, bro.
Listen, seriously, thanks so much for having me on. I'll come back anytime. We
Yeah, dude.
chop it up for real. Have you guys both on the show. Would love that. Guys, seriously, check me out. Guru Scouting MMA. You can follow me on Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, Picket, Tapology, and Bet MMA. And you can follow my awesome podcast on YouTube, Chronic Combat Conversations. We go live every week with the unbelievable guests, and we break down the fights, give out some free picks. Yeah, seriously, check us out. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, man, got to get back on there. It was definitely fun last time we went when I went on there. But yeah, Fitz, you want to tell them about what you're doing on TikTok, Instagram, and then just close it out here?
Yeah, just Fitzmagic MMA on TikTok, and excited to look into this card a little bit more. It sucks, but hopefully the fights deliver. As they kind of always do. We'll be back Friday, and then next week it's a big pay-per-view. So, just because we got one bad card, the future is looking good.
Yeah, man, for sure. All right, guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for talking in the chat, and we're out. We'll see you soon.